AITA for kicking out my girlfriend after she humiliated my ex at my daughter's birthday? My name is Mark. I'm 37, and I live in a pretty normal suburban neighborhood where everybody knows whose trash cans blew over during a storm but pretends not to notice. I work as an operations manager for a regional plumbing supply company, which sounds boring because it is, but it pays my mortgage and keeps my daughter Lily in sneakers she somehow outgrows every 3 months. I've been divorced from my ex-wife, Natalie, for 4 years. Most of our conversations are about homework folders, dentist appointments, school pickup, custody weekends, child support transfers, and whether Lily needs a rain jacket for field day. It is not romantic. It is not exciting. It is mostly two tired adults trying not to make their kid pay for the fact that they didn't work out as a couple. Natalie and I didn't divorce because of some big scandal. There was no affair, no secret second phone, no screaming match where someone threw a plate. We just grew apart until living in the same house felt lonelier than living in separate ones. It hurt at the time, but after the dust settled, we both admitted something that was hard and true. We were better co-parents than spouses. We have a shared custody calendar app with color-coded weekends. Blue is me. Green is Natalie. Yellow is school stuff. Red is medical. I used to think it was ridiculous that 2 grown adults needed an app to remember picture day, but the app saved us from a lot of arguments. We did exchanges in a grocery store parking lot for the first year because it felt less personal, then eventually got comfortable enough to drop Lily at each other's houses without making it weird. That was the arrangement when I met Tessa. Tessa was 34, smart, funny, and direct in a way I liked at first. We met through my best friend Ryan's wife at a barbecue. Tessa worked in marketing for a small firm and had this quick laugh that made people feel like they were more interesting than they actually were. On our first real date, she asked about Lily before asking about my divorce. I thought that was a good sign. "I know your daughter comes first," she said, stirring her drink with a straw. I would never compete with that. I remember feeling relieved. Dating after divorce is strange because you're not just asking, "Do I like this person?" You're asking, "Can this person handle the fact that my life already has a structure? Can they understand that my child's mother is not an optional character? Can they come into my world without trying to rearrange it around themselves?" For the first couple of months, Tessa seemed like she could. She brought coffee to Lily's soccer practice once and sat on the bleachers without trying too hard. She complimented Lily's purple cleats. She asked me if Natalie would be uncomfortable with her being there, which I appreciated. She even said, "I think it's great you two can be civil. A lot of divorced people make everything ugly." I believed her because I wanted to believe her. I wanted to prove to myself that I could move on, that my divorce wasn't going to be the last major relationship of my life, that Lily could see me happy with someone new without feeling pushed aside. The first comment happened in the school pickup line. Tessa had come with me because we were going to grab dinner after Lily went to Natalie's house. We were sitting behind a line of SUVs and minivans, inching forward while teachers in bright vests waved cars through. My phone was in the cup holder when Natalie's name lit up. "Natalie, Lily forgot her library book at your place. Can you put it in her backpack tomorrow?" Before I could even pick up the phone, Tessa looked over and gave this little laugh. "Wow," she said. "She texts you a lot. It's about Lily's book." "Sure," she said, still smiling. "It always is." I remember looking at her, waiting for her to say she was joking. She did, kind of. "I'm kidding," she said, touching my arm. "Relax." So I relaxed. Or I told myself I did. A couple of weeks later, Natalie and I had Lily's parent-teacher conference. Her teacher, Mrs. Dalton, wanted to talk about Lily's reading level, which was great, and her math anxiety, which wasn't. Natalie and I both went because we both help with homework and both needed to hear the same information. We sat in tiny chairs across from Mrs. Dalton while she showed us worksheets with little red notes in the margins. That night, Tessa asked how it went. "Fine," I said. "Lily's reading above grade level, but math is stressing her out." Mrs. Dalton suggested flashcards and less pressure. Tessa was quiet for a second. "Did you and Natalie go together?" "We met there." "But you sat together?" I put my fork down. We were eating takeout at my kitchen counter, and the TV was on low in the living room. We were sitting across from Lily's teacher. "That's not what I asked." "Tessa, it was a parent-teacher conference." She pushed rice around in her container. "I'm just saying most divorced people don't act this close." "We're not close. We're involved." She nodded like she accepted that, but her face said she didn't. After that, little comments started stacking up. If Natalie texted about switching a weekend because her work schedule changed, Tessa would say, "Must be nice for her to still have you on call." If I walked Lily to Natalie's front door instead of just letting her run up the driveway alone, Tessa asked why I needed to linger. If Natalie sent a picture of Lily holding a certificate from school, Tessa would ask, "Do you two always share little family moments like that?" Every time I explained. Every time, Tessa said she understood. Every time, a new problem appeared. I tried to be fair. I knew dating someone with an ex in the picture could be uncomfortable. I knew Natalie wasn't just a random person from my past. She was a permanent part of my present because we had Lily. I didn't expect Tessa to have no feelings about that. But I did expect her to separate feelings from facts. The facts were boring. Natalie and I paid for school supplies. We split Lily's dental bills that insurance didn't cover. We texted about lunch money and flu shots. Sometimes we had to call each other because typing, "Did she throw up again?" or just say she felt weird, was slower than speaking. Tessa started calling those facts boundaries. One night, Lily woke up crying with a bad ear infection during my custody week. Her ear was red, she had a fever, and she kept saying it felt like there was a bee inside her head. I took her to urgent care in sweatpants and an old hoodie, trying to keep her calm while the waiting room TV played some home renovation show nobody was watching. The receptionist asked for Lily's insurance information. I had the card somewhere, but not the most recent one. Natalie always kept photos of the updated cards because she was better at that stuff than I was. I called her. It was 8:13 p.m. Natalie answered on the second ring. "What's wrong?" "Ear infection, I think. I need the updated insurance card and the name of that antibiotic she reacted to when she was 6. Give me 30 seconds. She texted the card and the medication name while I held a shivering Lily against my side. When we got home 2 hours later, Tessa was at my house. She had a key at that point, which I later regretted more than I can explain. She was sitting on the couch with her arms folded. "You promised you wouldn't call her after 7 p.m., she said. I stared at her. Lily was asleep in my arms, her cheek pressed against my shoulder. "My kid was in urgent care. This is not about your rule." Tessa's eyes flicked to Lily, then back to me. "I'm not saying you shouldn't take care of Lily. I'm saying Natalie doesn't need access to you whenever she wants." She didn't access me. I called her. That's worse. I was too tired to fight. I carried Lily to bed, gave her the first dose of medicine, and sat with her until her breathing evened out. When I came back, Tessa had softened. "I was scared," she said. I felt pushed out. I wanted to say, "You weren't the one with a fever," but I didn't. I sat beside her and explained again that Lily's needs had to come first. Tessa cried. I comforted her. Somehow the night ended with me apologizing for not texting her first from urgent care. That became the pattern. Tessa got upset. I explained. She cried or shut down. I adjusted. I kept messages to Natalie shorter. I stopped responding to anything that wasn't urgent after dinner unless it directly affected Lily's schedule. I showed Tessa the shared calendar app. I let her see that there were no secret romantic conversations, no flirty jokes, no emotional confessions hiding between, "Can you send her snow boots Friday?" and "Dentist moved appointment to 3:30. I thought if I made everything transparent enough, Tessa would feel safe. Instead, she treated every compromise like proof she could ask for more. One Saturday morning, Lily was coloring at the kitchen table while I made pancakes. Tessa was leaning against the counter, scrolling through her phone. Natalie texted asking if Lily had left her blue water bottle in my car. Tessa saw the notification and sighed. Does she ever just figure things out herself? Lily's crayon stopped moving. I noticed, but Tessa didn't. I answered Natalie with "I'll check," and put my phone face down. Later that day, Lily asked if she could take something from her room to Natalie's house. When I asked what, she hesitated. "It's just the picture," she said. "What picture?" She led me to her room. It was a small framed photo on her dresser from a family trip we took before the divorce. Lily was 5 in the picture, sitting on my shoulders, with Natalie beside us holding an ice cream cone that was melting down her wrist. I hadn't paid attention to it in a long time. To me, it was just one of Lily's things. To her, it was proof that she came from a time when both her parents stood in the same frame. "Can I still have this?" she asked. Of course. She touched the edge of the frame. Is it rude? My stomach sank. Who told you it might be rude? She shrugged in that small way kids do when they already regret asking. Nobody. I just thought maybe. Lily. She looked at the carpet. Did Tessa say something? She said old family pictures can make new people feel bad. I sat on the edge of her bed, careful not to react too strongly because I could see she was watching my face. Hey, I said, this picture is yours. You don't have to hide it from me, from your mom, from Tessa, from anybody. It's not rude to remember your own life. Lily nodded, but she didn't look convinced. That night, after Lily went to bed, I confronted Tessa in the living room. The TV was paused on a cooking show. Tessa had one leg tucked under her and a throw blanket over her lap, like we were about to have a normal night. Did you say something to Lily about the family picture in her room? Tessa blinked. What? She asked me if it was rude to keep it. Tessa looked annoyed before she looked sorry. That told me a lot. I might have said it can be confusing when adults pretend nothing changed. She's 9. She doesn't need your commentary on my divorce. I didn't give commentary. I made one comment. To my child, she's old enough to notice things, Mark. She's old enough to be hurt by things too. Tessa threw the blanket off. So now I'm not allowed to have feelings? You can have feelings. You cannot make Lily responsible for them. She stood up and walked toward the kitchen, then turned back. You keep calling it co-parenting, she said, but sometimes it feels like emotional cheating. I actually laughed because I thought I misheard her. Not a funny laugh. More like my body rejected the sentence before my brain could process it. Emotional cheating? We talk about permission slips. You know what I mean. No, I really don't. She still gets a part of you. She gets a co-parent. That's it. Tessa crossed her arms. I'm not asking you to erase your daughter's mother. That is exactly what you're asking. She cried again. I didn't comfort her as quickly that time. Around then, Ryan started noticing I wasn't myself. He and I had been friends since our 20s, back when our biggest problems were cheap rent and bad dating choices. He came over one evening to help me move a broken patio table to the curb, and after we dragged it through the garage, he leaned against his truck and looked at me. You look like you're negotiating a hostage release every time your phone buzzes. I rubbed my face. Tessa's having a hard time with Natalie. Ryan snorted. Natalie? The woman who once texted you a spreadsheet for summer camp pickup times. That's the one. What does Tessa think is happening? You two rekindling things over math homework. I didn't answer. Ryan's expression changed. Mark, I know. No, I don't think you do. You're trying so hard to prove your girlfriend matters that you're letting Lily's normal life become suspicious. That irritated me because it was true. My relationship matters too, I said. Sure. But Lily doesn't get to choose who walks into her life. You do. A few days later, my mom said almost the same thing. My mother, Diane, is 62 and has the kind of calm voice that somehow makes you feel both loved and called out. She came over to drop off a bag of clothes she found on sale for Lily. Tessa wasn't there. Lily was at Natalie's. I made coffee, and my mom sat at the kitchen table, folding a tiny cardigan like it was evidence. How are things with Tessa? She asked. Fine. She looked at me. Complicated, I said. Because of Natalie? Because of everything. Mom nodded slowly. You can date whoever you want, Mark. But Lily is watching how the adults in her life treat the people she loves. I didn't like how that landed in my chest. She's not in the middle, I said. Mom gave me a sad smile. Honey, children don't need to be placed in the middle to feel stuck there. Lily's 9th birthday was the first weekend in May. She wanted a backyard party with pizza, Costco cupcakes, a sprinkler, sidewalk chalk, and a balloon arch from the party store because she saw one at a classmate's party and decided it was the height of luxury. I ordered the cupcakes with pink and yellow frosting. I borrowed 2 folding tables from Ryan. My mom brought extra chairs. I filled a cooler with juice pouches and water bottles. Lily made a playlist that was mostly movie songs and one pop song she definitely only knew from school. Natalie and I agreed the party would be at my house because my backyard was bigger. It was technically my custody weekend, but birthdays were always shared. That had been our rule since the divorce. Lily got both parents at birthdays, school performances, and anything that mattered enough for her to scan the room looking for us. I told Tessa a week ahead of time. Natalie will be there for 2 hours, I said. It's Lily's birthday. Tessa was unloading the dishwasher. She paused with a plate in her hand. Of course she will. The words were fine. The tone wasn't. And probably her fiancé, I added. Tessa turned around. Her what? Fiancé. Evan. I hadn't hidden Evan. Natalie had mentioned him before. Lily had talked about him too. He helped her build a birdhouse once and apparently knew how to make grilled cheese without burning it, which gave him hero status in Lily's eyes. Tessa stared at me. Natalie is engaged? Yeah. To someone else? I almost said, that is usually how engagement works, but I stopped myself. Yes. And you didn't think that was worth mentioning? I'm pretty sure I did. No, Mark. You mentioned she was dating someone. You didn't say she was engaged. I couldn't tell if she was mad because she hadn't known or because the information ruined the story she had built in her head. Well, she is, I said. So maybe you can stop worrying that she's trying to get back with me. Tessa's face hardened. Don't be condescending. I'm not. I'm tired. So am I. The morning of the party, Lily woke up already vibrating with excitement. She wore a glittery birthday crown from the moment she got out of bed. By noon, the backyard looked like a cheerful disaster. The balloon arch leaned slightly to the left. The sprinkler made a muddy spot near the fence. Kids ran in circles with juice pouches, leaving tiny wet footprints across the patio. Pizza boxes were stacked on the outdoor table, and the cupcakes were inside because I didn't trust 9-year-olds and frosting in the sun. Tessa arrived early. She helped tape down the tablecloths and arrange napkins, but she was tense. She kept checking the side gate like she was waiting for an enemy. Please don't do this today, I said quietly while Lily was showing my mom her sidewalk chalk rainbow. Do what? Look for problems. Tessa's smile was sharp. Maybe stop giving me reasons to. Before I could answer, Natalie came through the gate. She had on jeans and a light sweater, holding a gift bag with tissue paper sticking out. Beside her was Evan. He was tall, quiet, and carried a second gift bag like he wasn't sure if he was allowed to be useful. He shook my hand. Thanks for including me, he said. I'll stay out of the way. You're fine, man, I said. Lily's happy you came. Lily screamed, Mom, and ran across the yard. Natalie crouched down just in time to catch her. Evan smiled and stepped back, giving them space. Nothing about it was dramatic. Nothing about it looked like a woman trying to reclaim her ex-husband. Tessa watched from the patio. For a while, the party went well. Natalie talked with my mom near the drink cooler. Ryan helped Evan set up extra chairs when one of the folding tables started wobbling. The kids played in the sprinkler. Lily opened a gift from her friend and gasped like it was a diamond necklace, even though it was a craft kit. I could feel Tessa getting tighter as the afternoon went on. At one point, she came up beside me while I was scraping melted cheese off a pizza box lid. Your family is really comfortable with her, she said. With who? She gave me a look. Tessa, she's Lily's mom. They've known her for 12 years. That's exactly what I mean. What does that mean? It means there's no room for me. I looked around the yard. My daughter was laughing so hard, she had frosting on her cheek and chalk dust on her knees. Natalie was handing a napkin to one of Lily's friends. Evan was talking to Ryan about lawn mowers. My mom was refilling cups. There is room for you, I said, but you don't get to take someone else's place. Her jaw tightened. I'm not trying to. But she was. I could finally see it clearly. After cupcakes, Lily wanted pictures. Every year, we took one photo of her with me, one with Natalie, one with whoever else she wanted, and one with both of us. It wasn't for us. It was for her. Sometimes Natalie and I stood there awkwardly with space between us, smiling like two people who had survived a group project. Lily loved those pictures anyway. This year, she stood under the crooked balloon arch wearing her birthday crown, frosting still on her cheek. Can I get one with Mom and Dad like last year? She asked. Of course, kiddo, I said. Natalie stepped beside Lily. I handed my phone to Ryan. That was when Tessa snapped. This is ridiculous. The yard went quiet in pieces. First, the adults near the patio stopped talking. Then the kids noticed the adults had stopped talking. Even the sprinkler sound seemed too loud. I turned. Tessa was standing near the table with her arms crossed, her face red. You're divorced, she said, looking at me and Natalie. But you still act like a family. Natalie's eyes moved immediately to Lily. Tessa, Natalie said calmly. This is Lily's birthday. That's all this is. Tessa laughed once. Of course. Everything is always for Lily, right? My whole body went cold. Stop, I said. But Tessa didn't stop. She looked at Natalie and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, maybe if your mom stopped pretending she still belongs here, your dad could actually move on. Lily's face changed in a way I will never forget. One second, she was embarrassed. The next, she was hurt in a way that seemed too big for her small body. Her eyes filled, and she looked between me and Natalie like she had done something wrong by asking for a picture. Natalie knelt beside her. "Sweetheart, you didn't do anything wrong." Evan took one step forward, then stopped himself. My mom covered her mouth. Ryan muttered, "Absolutely not," under his breath. I walked toward Tessa, keeping my voice low because I didn't want to scare Lily more than she already was. "You need to go inside," I said. Tessa's eyes flashed. "Excuse me." "Go inside. Now." "No. I'm not going to be treated like the crazy one because I'm the only person willing to say what everyone can see." "No one sees that," I said. She pointed toward Natalie. "She should not be here. She is Lily's mother." "She is your ex-wife." "She is Lily's mother," I repeated. Tessa's voice shook, but not with sadness. With anger. "Either she leaves, or I do." There are moments when your brain gets very quiet. Not peaceful, just clear. I looked at Natalie, still kneeling beside Lily. I looked at my daughter, crying under a party store balloon arch, clutching the edge of her birthday crown like she wanted to disappear. Then I looked back at Tessa. "Then you should go." Tessa blinked. "Are you serious?" "Yes." "You're choosing her?" "No," I said. "I'm choosing my daughter." Her face twisted. "That's a convenient way to say you still love your ex." I shook my head. "This is about Lily. Not Natalie. Not you. Lily. You don't get to punish my child because you're insecure." Someone made a soft sound behind me. Maybe my mom. Maybe one of the guests. I didn't turn around. Tessa grabbed her purse from the patio chair. "You're going to regret embarrassing me," she said. I followed her through the house, not because I wanted to chase her, but because I didn't want her storming past Lily's room or grabbing anything that wasn't hers. She yanked open the front door. 8 months, she said. 8 months, and you throw me away for a woman you claim you don't want. I stood in the entryway, hearing the muffled sound of kids whispering in the backyard. "I regret letting it get this far," I said. She slammed the door so hard the wreath bounced. I didn't go after her. When I got back outside, the party was technically still happening, but the mood had collapsed. A couple of parents were gathering their kids. My mom was quietly wiping the table with a stack of napkins. Ryan had taken over handing out juice pouches like he was managing disaster relief. Lily was sitting in a patio chair beside Natalie, crying into a napkin. Her birthday crown was crooked. I knelt in front of her. "I'm sorry, baby," I said. "You didn't do anything wrong." Her lower lip trembled. "Is Mom allowed to stay?" That question broke something in me. "Always," I said. "Mom is always allowed to be at your important things." She looked at Natalie. "Did I do something bad?" Natalie hugged her. "No. You asked for a picture. That's all." I looked at Natalie and said, "I'm sorry." Natalie's eyes were shiny, but her voice stayed steady. "Just take care of her right now." So I did the best I could. We didn't force the party back into cheerfulness. We gave Lily space. My mom cut a cupcake in half and got frosting on her thumb on purpose to make Lily laugh. Ryan distracted the remaining kids with sidewalk chalk. Evan stayed near the cooler, quiet and respectful, not inserting himself, but not disappearing either. Natalie sat with Lily until Lily decided she still wanted to open the last 2 presents. At one point, Lily tugged my sleeve. "Can we still take the picture?" she asked. I looked at Natalie. She nodded. So we did. Lily stood between us, eyes a little red, birthday crown still crooked. Natalie and I smiled for our daughter. It was not a picture of a married couple. It was a picture of a child being allowed to love both her parents at the same time. After everyone left, my mom stayed to help clean. She didn't give a speech. She just stacked paper plates and tied up trash bags. When Natalie and Evan left with Lily for the evening, Lily hugged me tighter than usual. "Can you put the cupcakes in the fridge?" she asked. "I will. And don't throw away the yellow one." "I won't." When the door closed behind them, the house felt too quiet. My phone had 23 messages. "Tessa, I cannot believe you humiliated me in front of everyone." "Tessa, your ex got exactly what she wanted." "Tessa, I hope you're happy playing family with her." "Tessa, you made me look insane." "Tessa, you owe me an apology." I didn't answer right away. I changed the door keypad code first. Then I found her spare key on the hook by the garage and put it in an envelope with a few things she had left at my house. A sweatshirt, a phone charger, a bottle of expensive shampoo from my shower. I set it all by the front door. Then I typed one message. "Mark, This relationship is over. Do not come to my house. Lily will not be exposed to this again. I'll leave your things on the porch tomorrow at 10 a.m. Please return my key by putting it through the mail slot. She called immediately. I let it ring. She called again. I turned the phone face down and sat at the kitchen counter staring at leftover cupcakes until my eyes burned. I thought the worst part had happened at the party. I was wrong. The next evening, Lily came back to my house. Natalie and I agreed I should have my normal overnight because Lily needed routine, not adults making everything feel bigger. I made grilled cheese and tomato soup because that was her comfort meal. She ate half a sandwich and asked if she could decorate one of the leftover cupcakes with extra sprinkles. We sat at the kitchen counter in our pajamas. She had frosting on her finger and kept pressing sprinkles one by one into the top of a cupcake instead of dumping them. Dad, she said. Yeah. Does Tessa hate Mom? I put down my cup. Tessa was angry, but what she said was wrong. Lily stared at the cupcake. She said Mom uses me as an excuse. My chest tightened. When did she say that? Lily shrugged. Before, when you were in the garage. She was on the phone. She said Mom uses me as an excuse to stay close to you, and that you need to stop acting married. I felt sick. Lily pressed a blue sprinkle into the frosting. I didn't tell you because I thought you would be mad. At you? She nodded. I moved closer, but not too fast. Lily, I would never be mad at you for telling me something like that. She still wouldn't look at me. Then she asked the question that made me understand the damage wasn't really done to Natalie. It was done to Lily. If Tessa hates Mom, does that mean she hates half of me too? I had no quick answer. There was no perfect dad sentence sitting ready in my mouth. I just felt ashamed that my daughter had carried that thought alone because I had been too busy managing an adult woman's insecurity to notice a child absorbing it. I turned my chair toward her. No, I said carefully. There is nothing about you that is hard to love. Not the part that comes from me. Not the part that comes from Mom. Not any part. But Tessa was mad when I wanted the picture. Tessa was wrong. Because Mom was in it. Because Tessa wanted her feelings to matter more than yours. Lily's eyes filled again. I didn't want everyone to fight. I know. I just wanted my birthday. I pulled her into a hug, and she came easily, like she had been waiting to see if it was safe. I held her while she cried into my shirt. I'm sorry, I said. I should have stopped it before it got near you. She didn't answer. She just held on. That night after Lily went to sleep, I emailed the school counselor. I kept it simple. I said Lily had witnessed a conflict between adults at her birthday party and had made a comment that worried me. I asked if she could check in with Lily during the week and let me know what forms I needed to sign if we wanted extra support. Then I texted Natalie and told her what Lily had said. Natalie called me 2 minutes later. She didn't yell. Somehow that made it worse. She said that. Natalie asked. Yeah. There was a long silence. I should have caught it sooner, I said. Yes, Natalie said. You should have. I deserve that. Then she sighed. But you stopped it when it mattered. Now help her heal. I will. I'm not competing with anyone, Mark. I don't want you back. Evan is literally helping me assemble a bookshelf right now. Despite everything, I almost smiled. I know. I don't need an apology as much as Lily needs consistency. I know, I said again. But I am sorry. I accept that. Just don't make her pay for your next relationship. The next morning, the family group chat started. My cousin Matt, who had left early and apparently heard 3 different versions from 3 different people, texted first. Matt, I get she was wrong, but kicking her out in front of everyone was a lot. Then my aunt replied with a question mark. Then someone else asked what happened. Then my mom, who hates group chat drama, sent. Diane, Lily is okay. Everyone stop texting Mark right now. Tessa must have messaged at least 2 people, because soon my phone lit up with a screenshot someone forwarded. She had written that I embarrassed her because Natalie couldn't handle being replaced and that I let my ex control my life. I didn't want to debate, but I also wasn't going to let her rewrite what happened around my daughter. So I sent one message. Mark, the issue was not jealousy. The issue was a grown adult humiliating my daughter's mother in front of my daughter at her birthday party. Tessa told me either Natalie had to leave or she would. I told Tessa to leave. I'm not debating this in a group chat. My mom responded first. Diane, that little girl was trying to have a birthday, not mediate adult jealousy. Ryan replied with, Ryan, exactly. Matt didn't say anything after that. Tessa returned my key by shoving it through the mail slot 2 days later. She left a note with it that said, You'll realize what you lost. I threw the note away and kept the key until I could confirm it was mine. Then I changed the garage code too. For the next couple of weeks, Tessa sent long texts from different emotional angles. Angry, sad, accusatory, nostalgic. She said I had let Natalie win. She said Lily would grow up spoiled if I always gave in to her. She said no woman would tolerate being second place. That one got a response. Mark, Lily is my child, not your competition. Do not contact me again unless it is about arranging pickup of anything I missed. Then I stopped responding completely. It wasn't clean in the way movies make breakups clean. I missed parts of Tessa. I missed who she had seemed to be at the beginning. I missed having someone on the couch after Lily went to bed. I missed the idea that I had successfully built something new. But missing someone is not the same as being wrong. At the next custody exchange, Natalie and I met in the pharmacy parking lot because Lily needed allergy medicine from the store. Evan stayed in Natalie's car, looking down at his phone, giving us privacy without making a show of it. Lily was inside with Natalie for a second, picking between grape and cherry cough drops even though she didn't need either. I stood beside Natalie's car and said, I should have stopped it before it got near Lily. Natalie looked tired. Not angry exactly. Just tired in the way divorced parents get tired when old pain finds new ways to show up. Yes, she said. You should have. I know. She asked me if she has to stop talking about me at your house. I closed my eyes for a second. God. I told her no. Good. Natalie leaned against the car door. Mark, I don't care if your future girlfriend dislikes me. She doesn't have to invite me for coffee. She doesn't have to be my friend. But she cannot make Lily feel like loving me is disloyal to you. She won't. Natalie looked at me. I need you to mean that before there's another girlfriend. I do. Lily came out holding grape cough drops and a small sheet of stickers the cashier apparently gave her. She looked between us like she was checking the weather. Everything okay? She asked. Natalie smiled. Everything okay. I smiled too. We were just talking about your allergy medicine. Lily clearly didn't believe us, but she didn't look scared. That felt like a start. The school counselor met with her that Thursday. I signed the consent form, and afterward Lily came home with a sticker on her shirt shaped like a star. She didn't tell me everything they talked about, and I didn't push. She just said, Mrs. Keller has a couch with too many pillows, and asked if she could go again. You're not in trouble, I told her. This is just someone safe to talk to. I know, she said. She said grown-up feelings are not kid homework. I had to look away for a second. We also put the family photo back on her dresser. She had tucked it into a drawer after the party. I found it while helping her look for a missing hair clip. You want to back out? I asked. She hesitated. It's your room, I said. You get to decide. She took the frame from me and placed it beside her lamp. Then she added a newer picture next to it, one of me and her at a school carnival and one of Natalie, Evan, and her at a pumpkin patch. 3 different pictures. 1 kid. No competition. That became my new rule, though I didn't say it out loud to Lily like a speech. Anyone who dates me does not have to love my ex-wife. They do not have to become part of some perfect blended family fantasy. They do not have to be comfortable every second. But they do have to understand that Natalie will always matter to Lily. They have to understand that co-parenting is not a threat. They have to understand that a child's history is not disrespectful to a new adult's ego. A few weeks after the party, Lily and I were at the kitchen counter decorating the last batch of cupcakes from a box mix she begged me to buy. They were not for a birthday, not for a school event, not for anything important. She just wanted cupcakes. She wore pajamas with moons on them, and her hair was still damp from the bath. She dumped too many sprinkles onto 1 cupcake and started laughing when half of them rolled across the counter. I watched her laugh, really laugh, not the careful little laugh she had used right after the party when she was checking whether the adults were okay. The house was quieter without Tessa. Sometimes that quiet felt lonely. That night, it felt safe. Lily picked up a yellow cupcake and held it out to me. This one's yours, she said. It has the least messed up frosting. Very generous. You're welcome. She took a bite of hers and got frosting on her nose. I grabbed a napkin and wiped it off before she could dodge me. Moving on after divorce was never supposed to mean making my daughter pretend half her life didn't exist. It was supposed to mean building a future where she didn't have to choose which parent she was allowed to love out loud. I lost a girlfriend at my daughter's birthday party, but I finally became the father she needed in that moment. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.